Well, that's the last time we deliver ice unless you pay the bill.
How much do we owe you?
$2,000.
$2,000 for ice? I can get an Eskimo for $200 and make my own ice.
I tell you what we do. I make you a proposition. You owe us $200. We take $2,000 and call it square.
That's not a bad idea. I'll tell you. I'll consult my lawyer. And if he advises me to do it, I'll get a new lawyer.
This kind of zany dialogue is what the Marx Brothers are all about. Like the man in the story, they jump on the plot and ride off in all directions. As in this epic scene where Groucho applies to a gangster for the job of bodyguard.
You're just the man I want to see. If I could show you how to save 20%, would you be interested? Of course you would. In the first place, your overhead is too high and your brow is too low. Interested already, aren't you?
Aye.
Now, just wait till I get through.
I haven't got time.
Now, there are two fellas trying to attack you, aren't there? And there are two fellas trying to defend you. Now, that's 50% waste. Now, why can't you be attacked by your own bodyguards? Your life will be saved, and that's 100% waste. Now, what do you got? You still got me, and I'll attack you for nothing.
Say, what are you getting at?
I anticipated that question. How does an army travel? On its stomach. How do you travel? On a ship. Of course, you're saving your stomach. Now, that same common sense...
I don't think you realize...
Oh, I realize it's a penny here and a penny there, but look at me. I've worked myself up from nothing to a state of extreme poverty. Now, what do you say?
I'll tell you what I say. I say...
All right, then it's all settled. I'm to be your new bodyguard. In case I'm going to attack you, I'll have to be there to defend you, too. Now, let me know when you want to be attacked, and I'll be there 10 minutes later to defend you.
And finally, the peak in sheer zaniness. Groucho dictates a letter to his lawyer, Mr. Hunga Dunga.
Jamison, take a letter to my lawyers. I say take a letter to my lawyers. Honorable Charles H. Hungadunga. Care of Hungadunga, 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 and McCormick. Semicolon.
How do you spell semicolon?
All right, make it a comma. Honorable Charles H. Hungadunga, care of Hungadunga, Hungadunga, McCormick. Gentlemen, question mark.
Do you want that in the letter?
No, put that in an envelope. Now then, in re yours of the 5th inch, yours to hand, and beg to rep, brackets, that we have gone over the ground carefully, and we seem to believe, i.e., to wit, e.g., in lieu, that despite all our precautionary measures which have been involved, we seem to believe that it is hardly necessary for us to proceed unless we receive an ipso facto that is not negligible at this moment, quotes, unquotes, and quotes. Hoping this finds you, I beg to remain...
Hoping this finds him where?
Well, let him worry about that. Don't be so inquisitive, Jamison. Sneak. I say, hoping this finds you, I beg to remain, as of June 9th, cordially yours regards. That's all, Jamison. Now, read me the letter, Jamison.
Honorable Charles H. Hungadunga.
Hungadunga.
Hum. Hungadunga.
That's it, Hungadunga.
In care of Hungadunga, and McCormick.
You left out a Hungadunga. You left out the main one, too. Thought you could slip one over on me, didn't you, eh? All right, leave it out and put on a windshield wiper instead. I tell you what you do, Jamison. I tell you what. Make it 3 windshield wipers and 1 Hungadunga. They won't all be there when the letter arrives anyhow.
Hungadunga, and McCormick.
And McCormick.
Gentlemen, question mark.
Gentlemen, question mark. Put it on the penultimate, not on the diphthonic. You want to brush up on your Greek, Jamison? Well, get a Greek and brush up on it.
In re yours of the 5th inch.
I see.
Now, you said a lot of things here that I didn't think were important, so I just omitted them.
Yours not the reason why, Jamison. You've left out the body of the letter. All right, send it that way and tell them the body will follow.
Do you want the body in bracket?
No, it'll never get there in brackets. Put it in a box. Put it in a box and mark it Fragilli.
Mark it what?
Mark it Fragilli. F-R-A-G. Look it up, Jamison. It's in the dictionary. Look under fragile. Look under the table if you don't find it there.
Quotes on quotes and quotes.
That's 3 quotes?
Yes, sir.
Add another quote and make it a gallon. How much is it a gallon, Jamison?
Regard.
Regard. That's a fine letter, Jamison. That's an epic. That's dandy. Now, I want you to make 2 carbon copies of that letter and throw the original away. And when you get through with that, throw the carbon copies away. Just send a stamp, airmail, that's all. You may go, Jamison. Members of the faculty, faculty members, students of Huxley, and Huxley students. I guess that covers everything.
As a satirist, Groucho, when he delivers a speech, manages to deflate every pompous windbag who ever bored an audience to tears. Here he speaks at a college.
As I look out over your eager faces, I can readily understand why this college is flat on its back. The last college I presided over, things were slightly different. I was flat on my back. Things kept going from bad to worse, but we all put our shoulders to the wheel, and it wasn't long before I was flat on my back again. Any questions? Any answers? Any rags? Any bones? Any bottles? Today, any rags? Let's have some action around here. Who'll say 76? Who'll say 1776? That's the spirit, 1776.
Here he delivers a speech on economics.
The nickel today is not what it was 15 years ago. Do you know what this country needs today?
What?
A 7-cent nickel. Yes, sirree. We've been using the 5-cent nickel in this country since 1492. Now, that's pretty near 100 years, daylight saving. Now, why not give the 7-cent nickel a chance? If that works out, next year we could have an 8-cent nickel. Think what that would mean. You could go to a newsstand, buy a 3-cent newspaper, and get the same nickel back again. One nickel carefully used would last a family a lifetime.
I think that is a wonderful idea.
You do, huh?
Yes.
No, then there can't be much to it. Forget about it.
Here he delivers an impassioned fight speech to a football team.
Listen, you bunch of butterfingered milksops. The way you're playing, you couldn't beat a girls' basketball team. We've got to win this game, do you understand? Even if we have to use our star player, number 37. You remember, don't you? The quarterback gets the ball, goes around left end, and makes a lateral pass to the right guard. Sit there. Wait a minute. Boys, if you can't beat that bunch of half-witted goofs, there. What do you want?
Well, you're talking to the wrong team.
I know I am, but our team wouldn't listen to me.
Groucho is also responsible for the wildest lecture in medical school history.
Let us follow a corpuscle on his journey. As you know, there is constant warfare between the red and white corpuscles. Now then, baboons, what is a corpuscle?
That's easy. First is a captain, then is a lieutenant, then is a corpuscle.
That's fine. We now find ourselves among the Alps. The Alps are a very simple people living on a diet of rice and old shoes. Beyond the Alps lies more Alps, and the lower Alps those are Alps themselves. We then come to the bloodstream. The blood rushes from the head down to the feet, gets a look at those feet, and rushes back to the head again.
And finally, Groucho Marx lectures on Africa.
My friends, I'm going to tell you of that great, mysterious, wonderful continent known as Africa. Well, sir, we left New York drunk and early on the morning of February 2nd. After 15 days on the water and 6 on the boat, we finally arrived on the shores of Africa. We had once proceeded 300 miles into the heart of the jungle, where I shot a polar bear. This bear was 6'7" in his stocking feet and has shoes on.
Pardon me, just a moment, Captain, just a moment. I always thought that polar bears lived in the frozen north.
Oh, you did? Well, this bear was anemic, and he couldn't stand the cold climate. He was a rich bear, and he could afford to go away in the winter. From the day of our arrival, we led an active life. The first morning saw us up at 6, breakfasted, and back in bed at 7. This was our routine for the first 3 months. We finally got so we were back in bed at 6:30. The principal animals inhabiting the African jungle are moose, elks, and nightsopithecus. Of course, you all know what a moose is. That's big game. The first day, I shot 2 bucks. That was the biggest game we had. The elks, on the other hand, live up in the hills. And in the spring, they come down for their annual convention. It is very interesting to watch them come to the water hole. And you should see them run when they find it is only a water hole. What they're looking for is an alcohol. One morning, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I don't know. Then we try to remove the tusks. The tusks. That's not so easy to say. As I say, we try to remove the tusks. But they were embedded in so firmly that we couldn't budge them. Of course, in Alabama, the Tuscaloosa. But that's entirely irrelevant to what I was talking about. We took some pictures of the native girls, but they weren't developed. But we're going back again in a couple of weeks.
You are listening to the immortal finger of Chico Marx. Chico did to music what he did to the English language. Here he is in Recital.
I tell you what I do. I play you one of my own compositions by Victor Heuer. Make it short.
Auxilio patrone, what is the first number?
Number 1.
obviously limited, his repertoire was not. Here he is in a popular vein. And finally, in a classical vein.
Ready, boys? Let's go. Beat you that time.
Hello? I must be going. I cannot stay. I came to say I must be going. I'm glad I came, but just the same, I must be going. La la.
For my sake, you must stay. If you should go away, you spoil this party. I am sorry.
I'll stay a week or two. I'll stay the summer through. But I am telling you, I must be going.
Groucho Marx does his thing. One of the high points in every Marx Brothers movie are the songs, particularly when they are sung by Groucho. Here's a collector's item. The original Hooray for Captain Spaulding.
Did someone call me Snorra?
He went into the jungle where all the monkeys grow nuts.
If I stay here, I'll go nuts. Hey, hey!
Here we are, my friends, who come and create us.
Hey, hey!
And on the subject of collector's items, here Groucho does his thing with Choco in the famous, or infamous, viaduct routine.
Now, here is a little peninsula, and here is a viaduct leading over to the mainland.
Viaduct.
I'm all right, how are you? I say here is a little peninsula, and here is a viaduct leading over to the mainland.
All right, viaduct.
I'm not playing Ask Me Another, I say that's a viaduct.
All right, viaduct. It's viaduct. Why no chicken?
Well, I don't know why I know chicken. I'm a stranger here myself. All I know is that it's a viaduct. You try to cross over there at chicken, and you'll find out viaduct.
I know go someplace.
It's deep water, that's viaduct. It's deep water.
That's viaduct.
Look, Rip. Suppose you were out horseback riding and you came to that stream and you wanted to ford over. You couldn't make it. It's too deep.
Well, why do you want with a ford if you got a horse?
Well, I'm sorry the matter ever came up. All I know is that it's a viaduct.
Well, look, all right. I catch on the wire horse, so why a chicken? Why this? Why that? I don't catch on the wire dog.
Now, I was only fooling. I was only fooling. They're going to build a tunnel there in the morning. Now, is that clear to you?
Yes, everything except the wire dog.
Well, that's fine. Now we can go ahead with this thing. Now, look. I'm going to take you down and show you our cemetery. I've got a waiting list of 50 people at that cemetery just dying to get in, but I like you.
You're my friend.
I like you, and I'm going to shove you in ahead of all of them.
I know you like.
I'm going to see that you get a steady position.
That's good.
And if I can arrange it, it'll be horizontal. Now, you know how to get down there?
No, I
Now, look, River. You go down there, down that narrow path there, until you come to that little jungle there, you see it? And then there's a little clearing there, a little clearing with a wire fence around it. You see that wire fence there?
All right, the wire fence.
Oh, no. We're not going to go all through that again.